question is for Barry Babb. What are the two most important issues affecting the Fayette County Sheriff's Department today? And if elected, how do you intend to advance these issues during your term in office?
Well, I do believe that probably the most important issue is the challenges that we do face. We're at 106,000 population. We've got density that allows the officers to answer those calls for service at 12 minutes. 12 minutes is a high number, and I do believe, and I know I'm going back and sounding like a broken record, but if we put more officers out there, we can get that 12 minutes down. That's what I want to try to accomplish. I do believe that's the most important issue. The precinct helps with that as well, because the precinct puts the officers out there in the neighborhood already. The issues facing the precinct, as Mr. Hannon talked about, is I don't think it needs to be staffed 24/7. Fayetteville Police Department, Peachtree City Police Department, Tyrone Police Department are not staffed 24/7. They have a call box outside. If somebody shows up at the precinct, they're directed straight to 911. So I don't believe it has to be staffed. It cuts down on your distances to your calls. I believe that's the most important issue. Probably the second most important issue is just the economy. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but when the economy goes down, and we see this before in law enforcement, your thefts and your burglaries increase. And your redeployment, putting more officers on the street. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I've spent my 20 years hands-on in law enforcement. I've either been a detective or I've been on the street, and for the last 6 years, I've been commanding the street officers that are out here answering those calls. So I believe that when you probably close your eyes and think about the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, you think about that officer in that patrol car, it's probably the first thing that comes to your mind. That's what the bad guys think about as well. And I would love to put some more troops out there. And I think that you build that wall I talked about earlier, we can keep our families safe.
Okay, this question's for Wayne Hanna. Mr. Hanna, understanding that the pavilion is in the jurisdiction of the City of Fayetteville, is there anything that can be done by the Sheriff's Department to address crime in the pavilion?
Well, I guess the biggest thing, we can continue working with Fayetteville Police Department. We have a good working relationship with them. I've met with Chief Heaton on numerous occasions. Actually, we're on a couple of committees together. We talk about different things other than whatever the committee is addressing. But absolutely work with them in any way we can, provide resources that they may not have. I know many of you probably been shopping during Christmas season at the pavilion and seeing our aviation unit, the helicopter, flying that area, patrolling. That's one of the resources that we provide with the City of Fayetteville. But not so much to go in and create our own programs or anything in the pavilion, but working with the City of Fayetteville. But just continue that good working relationship that we have with them and provide any resources that we can to help them out.
This question for Thomas Mendar. I'll ask you a question I asked another candidate. A number of resource officers are currently in place in schools in Fayette County. Should this program be increased, stay the same, or decreased, and why?
As far as the resource officers, I think they should definitely have officers in the school. Getting with the kids early on is very important. Matter of fact, when I came up here tonight, there was a lady that was telling me about a kid from 8 years ago that I talked to outside the movie theater, and he remembered me. And he found out I was running for sheriff, and she said some good words about that. It's so important that you start early, so we're not the enemy. I learned that. I actually volunteered to be a manager of a baseball team just recently in Peachtree City, and they're disillusioned a little bit because they think, I'm not saying Peachtree City Police, I'm saying everybody, they think we're out here to write tickets and just be a butt to them, and we're not. And they don't know us, but they gotta learn who we are and understand we're people of family too. And definitely, I mean, if we could get more resource officers in school, because I believe, like I said, they're paying half their salary. I know that Whitewater High School wanted a drug dog a few years back when there was an officer in there, and I don't know why we didn't put one in there, but they wanted a drug dog, they were going to pay for it. And we're talking about, you know, black lab, nothing violent or anything like that, but why wouldn't you have a dog in there if they're going to pay for it? So that'd be a good way too, have a dog walking around, kids love dogs. So.
This question is for David Simmons, and it's the same question that I posed to Thomas Mindar earlier. What is your perception of current interjurisdictional relations with the various law enforcement agencies in Fayette County, and how would you propose to work with these agencies throughout the county and the region?
Okay, since announcing my candidacy for sheriff back in November, I have had an opportunity to meet with the police chief in Fayetteville, and I've had a chance to speak to the new chief in Peachtree City. I have previously been made aware that there's not always been a great working relationship between the departments. Like Tom mentioned here, at the lower levels, the troops work very well together, but the upper echelon of the departments has not been much coordination of effort. One of the unique things about my background, I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, I have a master's degree, I'm also a graduate of the FBI National Academy. The chief in Fayetteville is a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and he's a graduate of the FBI National Academy. The new chief in Peachtree City has a bachelor's degree, has a master's degree, and he's a graduate of the FBI National Academy. One of the things you learn at the training program for police executives while you're attending the FBI National Academy is the importance of understanding the world view of dealing with law enforcement. You're taught to work in partnership on initiatives. While at the academy, I met individuals who I still have contact with since 1984. We communicate together. I'm a member of the FBI National Academy of Graduates. I believe by being the similar backgrounds that I have with the chief in Peachtree City and the chief in Fayetteville will enable me to work with them very smoothly and in cooperation to build task force operations to protect the citizens of this county. Based on my previous background working with federal and state agencies in Michigan, I know exactly how to coordinate our departments to create joint task force operations to deal with the burglary situation in our county, to deal with robbers coming in from outside our county, and to deal with this issue of gangs. We need to establish a centralized gang data source where we can coordinate the names and backgrounds of who's involved in gangs, and for once and for all, end gang activity in Fayette County and to protect our community. Thank you.